And then you've got a place 15 minutes out of town.
No, we don't. We're looking at it.
You're looking at how big?
It's 200 acres now. It has 5 houses on it and a barn. 2 barns. One barn that's been converted into a wedding venue, which is a big hall. It has plumbing and electrical and everything already on it. And it turned into a temporary temple room, later into prasadam hall, something like that. And then there's another barn with 26 stalls. It's an equestrian property. Actually, it has a 6 furlong horse dirt racetrack.
There you go.
Finally, I get it. They didn't do it. I couldn't understand why can't I get it.
I asked him just now. I said he wanted me to give it to him.
Yeah, no, when we were at Sadhusanga, then. And Revati did the
Indexing.
indexing.
I can
She's really expert. She's really expert.
Then get a nice.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
It's volume 1?
Yes, please.
Or maybe you want to set you live in Hungary also?
We can take it back.
I won't be able to take it, but there's so many devotees
Oh, I see.
that they can take
Do you live in Hungary?
Yes, ma'am.
printed in India. Who's different for Srimad Bhagavatam, Padma Purana. Empowering disciples to perform miracles. So sex. That's a miracle. I mean, Prabhupada, but he would roll his eyes, he wouldn't believe it. So sex on the street. Non-mystic mysticism.
Around 8 separations, I think.
On the streets, it has this stuff.
Giri did one, Mala did one.
Giri was
Giri
doing
did
quite
one.
a few, yeah.
Yeah, Giri did a separate.
Plenty of Bhakti stuff.
Yeah, plenty of it.
What, full sets? Bhagavatam sets?
No, we didn't
Or
distribute.
Saptari?
Saptari.
And Charan is in actually.
Yeah,
Krishna. Manages.
Patrick is also.
Vedu Vyas Puri.
Yeah, he was there. And then his wife and daughter.
Yeah.
So you think
His daughter loves Krishna.
Smara did a sapta and then Shikshashtakam we did a sapta.
Yeah, it's great. It's the first time I went there.
First time.
First time
The empowerment.
First time distributing books in America?
No, we don't.
We did it before, yeah.
Done a little bit.
Few
It's
hours.
great. I said to your Guru Maharaj, it's great to see they can just come from a different continent and just get right into it.
I mean, America is.
That's the same, whether you do it there or here or here.
Especially what?
So, keep on doing the mission.
Yeah, it's important. There's so
It's a challenge.
many ideas.
So, remove. Remove the mission. Remove the mission. Spread this consciousness.
Janma Shata Kori Koro Koro Upaka. That's it in a nutshell. For each individual.
What's next? What happened to that Balaram?
It's still in the womb. Actually, you know, all these, but it's all, they all take a long time. I started, maybe 30 years ago, so I had the idea to write so many books. And then I've just been collecting material. And then at some point, I just concentrate on one. So I was concentrating on Bhakti and the Bible, and then this one. Actually, the Balaram book, I finished it years ago, but then I gave it to one disciple to finish it, to do some more research in Sanskrit and place it in Vrindavan. He's been sitting on it for about 8 years now. But he said he's going to get into it. He just finished doing the DBT edition of Jaina Dharma. As Kishore, he was translating it. So he says he's going to get into it now. He was working for BPT. He's not now. So that's...
And next?
I'm not sure what will come out next. I have several ongoing projects.
Say that again.
Several ongoing projects. The main one is now the Vaishnava culture as it got into Hindu, which again I wrote about 100 essays about 30 years ago.
36 years
I
ago.
said 36 years ago.
Yeah, in one lecture from, I think it was 2000, you said it was 11 years ago, so it was not 1989.
I see. So that's the one we have to concentrate. I have to try and finish before I become incapable of doing anything, either mentally, physically, or just keep the bucket altogether.
Eyes.
Huh?
Eyes.
Eyes, yeah. That's right.
After a while, computers start swimming.
Oh, okay.
I put kajal on my eye. This is some cream or something.
Is it kajal?
Yeah. It's good. Do you get that? You get black flecks floating in your vision?
Yeah. It just started.
So
First I thought there was, some bug flying around.
Yeah. So that's, kajal is good. It controls it. I know that.
Uh-huh.
They do it every night in India, but it's a different kind. You can wipe it off quite easily. But the one I did last night, I went through about half a roll of toilet paper. Well, that's exactly. I wanted to ask you a question about demons in Vrindavan.
Up there? Or
No, down
Over.
here. Down here. That's another question. Up there is another question. How can demons enter Vrindavan? How can they be there at all? I know Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in one of his books that there's the prodhamaya by which you can live in the Dham and not be Krishna conscious. But that's specifically talking about Navadvip. As you've researched and you're very much conversant with all the literature on Vrindavan, I thought there must be some statement of our acharyas about this.
Krishna, maybe Krishna Sundarbha, Jiva Goswami is talking about how demons and non-devotees don't they can't see Krishna. Even the ones who fight with them, they just see a reflection of Krishna. I don't have a direct quote for this question, but certainly there is no difference between Vrindavan and Krishna. So do they actually enter Vrindavan, or do they see a reflection of Vrindavan? Like Sita Devi, Ravana can't touch Sita Devi, but there's my Sita. And it's my Sita that manifests. I was sort of struggling with that when Shankachuda grabbed Srimati Radharani by the hair. Turned out that the translation itself was actually wrong. But I never Sanskrit scholar, and I never thought to check with any scholar, is this right or not? So how can Shankachuda grab Radharani by the hair? And I thought it's not possible. There must be something wrong over there. But it's a fact that demons don't have, I mean, anybody can do anything if Krishna wants it to happen. So if Krishna wants demons to come,
He's nourishing the Leela in some ways, isn't it?
he doesn't want to leave. And ultimately Vishnu is going to be killing him. But still, if he wants demons to enter into Vrindavan so he can kill them, because that's part of the mission, then they quit coming. What they see and experience is a different thing. Do they actually see Vrindavan? Or I don't read like that. I just read thematically. So if I had to answer this question, which is a great question, right, then I start searching on that to see some divas and acharyas, what do they say? Chief Goswami tends to answer a lot of these questions.
Then you throw the questions about the spiritual world.
You know, up until I started reading Brihad Bhagavatamrita, I thought they don't exist. But then, certainly exists.
I read it, but I don't remember it, so please refresh.
Sanatana Goswami talks about, demons coming, Krishna is dancing on hoods of Kaliya, and he goes and he kills Kamsa, but they can't be real demons. My understanding was similar to what Kavi Karnapur, when he's explaining how the gopis enacted Krishna killing demons. So he says that it wasn't possible for the gopis to manifest or be in the mood of a demon, even in the gopi form. So it was Yogamaya who actually manifests those forms, and then gopis played the role of Krishna.
So I didn't catch that. The gopis are playing the form of demons.
Well, they have a pastime. For instance, Krishna.
Imitating after Krishna left.
Suffering Putana, yes, disappeared. He says, but a gopi couldn't be in the mood of Putana. Can't be identical. Only Adilasi Krishna, you can't be identical to Krishna. So they have to be favorably disposed. So Yogamaya then manifests that form. Yogamaya manifests that gopi form that exhibits sort of the mood of Putana, and that way, and then whatever other pastimes, Trinavarta, and then quite a few that's described in the Bhagavatam. So she manifests those forms. So in the spiritual world, which is really not demons, but that she manifests forms for Krishna's pleasure, so that Krishna can actually also fight there. He goes repeatedly, keeps going back, leaves Vrindavan, goes to Mathura, kills Kamsa, and then returns. And everyone thinks He never really left. And then he leaves again. And he leaves again. So, but Sanatana Goswami, Sanatana Goswami says something, and that's the way it is.
You mentioned also in one of your books how the cycle goes on. Krishna goes away. I believe you wrote this, and then it becomes as if it becomes as if he wasn't there, and then again he's born like this. I believe.
Where's that? I don't necessarily remember everything that Krishna takes, repeatedly takes
But
birth.
that he's born again, and then
Oh,
I don't remember exactly, so I shouldn't say.
throughout the material creation, continually
Yeah.
takes birth. Leelas are going on like the sun.
Yeah. I couldn't exactly understand. Is it moment by moment, or is he Kumar? His whole Kumar Leela finishes, and then it starts again, and then
Every Leela. Every Leela is eternal.
Yeah. So what does it mean that it's moment by moment it's going on? There are many things we.
Some change.
Achintya Kalujivava.
Hmm?
Achintya Kalujivava.
Natami's Tarakena.
We can, Prabhupada gives that brilliant example that somewhere on the planet it's always 3:52 p.m. and 3:52 p.m. is always, so he's similar to Krishna's Leela. So if we go like that, practically speaking, in some incremental form, it continually keeps manifesting somewhere. Ultimately, that without this, Prabhupada always quotes Jiva Goswami that without accepting this inconceivable, you can't understand. You can't resolve things. One thing is that it's inconceivable to us because we've got such p-brains, and then the other is that it's actually just maybe even beyond Krishna. It's just his Shakti's like acting, and even he gets.
It's no fun if you're always being God. And
for me, it's that example in Brahma Samhita. Andantarasta Paramanam Chayantarastam. Everything's in Krishna. Creation, everything. Spiritual, material. And now Krishna, along with everything, is inside of every atom. So, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. Krishna inside of every atom. And then there are so many universes, and then again, which are comprised of, and he's inside in this, because he has no beginning, he has no end. It's like, Mother Yashoda, you can't tie him down. He's got no inside, he's got no outside.
right, that's right.
He's got no end. What are you going to do? But if you have prema, then you can tie him down. If you have love. So you have prema, and you have this effort. You make this real effort to serve him. Then it's possible with those two things. That was everybody when doing that book on Mother Yashoda, so I wanted to entitle it rather than give the credit to Krishna. I just entitled it Damodar Janani. She's the main player ultimately. But acharyas, they really get into the stage. got no inside, he's got no outside, there's no beginning to him, there's no entering, you can't tie him, and yet at the same time he's this little boy who's running away in a panic.
And Shukdev praises Mother Yashoda more. That, what is that? Yasyam Stanam Kudo Hare He. Who is this? Who is this woman? The mercy, that kind of mercy, even Brahma, Lakshmi, they don't get the mercy that they could, that, suck the breast.
It's
Hey, what about that person of Lord Chaitanya?
say that again.
When he feeds his breast milk to her.
Yeah.
That's in Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Yeah.
That's Navadvip Leela.
Yes.
I mean, that's really how Lord Chaitanya, manifests this form of goddess, and then all of a sudden everyone comes and drinks the breast milk. And what's going on? That was really mind-blowing. Especially for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, relatively conservative in the things that he does, and especially if he does anything, then it's Swarup Damodar Ramananda Roy, but now here in front of
Right before all the
residents of
Leelas.
Navadvip, or at least my word. Yeah, extraordinary things, very special things.
Achintya.
Achintya, yes. It's very inconceivable.
Krishna's Kaviraj says, Siddhanta Gauriya Chaitanya Gauriya Lord what is it?
Yeah, you should do that one.
But then again and again he says in Chaitanya, you just have to have faith.
Yes.
You have faith. You can't understand it, you just have to have faith.
And whatever I'm saying is just a drop.
Yeah.
But it's actually an ocean, it's unlimited. There's so many leelas, everything's a leela, everything's inconceivable.
And even one moment, Anantadev couldn't describe it in millions of years.
Yes. Krishna's leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's leela, both just different facets, extraordinary facets of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he just gives and gives and gives. There's no limit to the mercy. Audarya down. It's when we, I'm there in Mayapur and devotees come, I always give them that Navadvip Bhav Mahatmya, Navadvip Bhav Taranga, and how Thakur Bhakti Vinod, just reveals and explains that you're just like walking on thin covering of the material energy, but underneath, here's the spiritual realm, spiritual world. This is the upper Kapara, manifest over here. And especially in that Bhava Taranga, how he reveals his own spiritual identity again through his Kamala Manjari, and goes to Lalita Devi and says, here's a real servant of Mahaprabhu. As soon as they hear Mahaprabhu, then you've immediately got an in. It was actually in that Vidayata Gaura Padara in the verse, Sriram Maharaj, Vihar Sriram Maharaj, he's giving this really beautiful explanation. As you serve in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, your Gopi spirit is automatically developing, manifesting. It says, and then, when you become qualified, you get taken before Srimati Radharani, and they say, this is a sincere servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Oh, you did so much service for Mahaprabhu, I'll have to give you some very special This helps. Swelling of the feet.
Yeah, swelling, pain. Just getting over, or is it more than 2 weeks?
I practically in Hungary and even in Mayapur I function in this here in America they call it lazy board. You know, arms go back, legs go up. As soon as your legs go up, then the water doesn't flow like that to the 90% of the day I'm just I write in it, I just sit there and write back feet, everything.
Oh, if you don't mind, you could send me a photo. It may not be you, it could be someone else. Showing how to use, what is it, some special kind of...
No, it's a recliner. It's a recliner, zero gravity chair.
Let me know about that. Okay.
And you get them electric or manual, and it's indispensable.
Oh, okay.
Indispensable.
So I'll do you massage you.
My feet swell up like that. But it's like when you're on a business class in a plane. Same thing. Feet can go up, back can go in.
I see, it's like that. All right, so I got some good fortune again. I could find out that. Now, something else I wanted to ask. You spent so much time in Vrindavan, and now you're spending more time in Mayapur.
Yeah, much more time.
So, what are your, is it too much to ask? What are your experiences living in Vrindavan and then living in Mayapur?
I mean, it wasn't so much the spiritual part, it was really just that when we, in 1990, Govinda Maharaj built that house and
In Vrindavan?
In Vrindavan, my parents paid for it and I always spend 1 or 2 months a year there, and I'm spending 6 months, half the year in Mayapur, but it's become so noisy, so crowded, non-stop. Vrindavan.
In Vrindavan,
In
it's a
Vrindavan.
metropolis now.
Go on parikrama is impossible. It's cars and
Horns and
So-
loudspeakers and crowds and
nowhere to go. So I just decided when Raj Kumar was constructing the current place, which is also now, the devotees are, it'll be like that in town, but at least Mayapur is a little more expansive than the Vrindavan area. It's also being built up. And so we sold that, and then my mother passed away and left inheritance, so we bought the top floor for the Hungarian Yatra. And I'm out of the GBC, so we have minimal service in Hungary now. Radha Krishna's in charge, and so from October to April I'm there. And yeah, it's a different. Here in Vrindavan, Radha Krishna is dominant. Mayapur, Panchatattva are the boss. You can feel them everywhere, and I'm a good distance, 2 kilometers away from the temple, so people think twice before they come out here. It's nice. It's very nice. Especially, I was even thinking of next year staying throughout summer and monsoon. Then there's nobody. There's nobody. That's really nice. But I think, if I had to choose whose mercy I want to get, if I got Mahaprabhu's, then Radha Krishna's is included.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
But
I always think that devotees want to go and pass away in Vrindavan. I say, go to Mayapur.
Very difficult. Radha Krishna, There's no.
I've never been to Vrindavan.
You've never been.
No, Vishaya Acharya Kove Shuddha Habilam Tabe Hama Erabo Sri Vrindavan. I never went there. But Mayapur, the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is tangible.
Yes. We get Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, everything is included. Everything is there.
And even if you don't want it, he's got his hands up and he's going to throw it on you.
And
Nabajale de Premadam.
And I went to this year. We went to a few places. I went to Ayodhya on the way I came just to see, but actually I went to
Jaipur.
no,
And then Ramakeli.
Ramakeli.
Oh, I haven't been there since. That must have been
I don't think it's changed.
more than 45 years.
Fantastic. It's like,
Still,
Indian, but still.
because 8 chakras changed a lot.
Eka Chakra, I always changed all the lot.
Still not like Mayapur, but it's the old temple and just everything simpler things. Still is like that somewhat, but
It's going to come up.
ISKCON or whatever it's going to be modernized.
Nitai Chand first took me there and lived outside. Just in a mosquito tent outside. There's no place to stay. We stayed at the home of this teacher, local teacher, and it was really beautiful. It was such a wonderful place. Yeah, there, and there Nitai is the boss.
Yeah.
We really feel his presence.
Oh,
everywhere.
yeah.
John Nitai. I heard, I mean, I didn't want to go because I heard the river, the Jamuna's gone dry, and they've built all these buildings. I don't know, they were just 2-story mud huts. They were beautiful 2-story mud huts. So many ghosts, and everybody greets you anytime. But things will develop, grow.
Not only ISKCON's there, but the Nitai Gauranga Shampida got a big place there.
Huge.
And the Chaitanya Saraswat Math
Yeah.
got a big place there. Actually, ISKCON's, out of those 3, ISKCON is the smallest. But it's still not small.
It's a lot of visitors. It's a lot of visitors.
Well, that's India is becoming more. Since we first went in the 1970s, it's become more religious. So there's a lot more
Religious.
Yeah, a lot more religious tourism, and that's also that's close to. See if I can remember the name. It's not. Is it Tara Pita? That's the main Shakti Pita in Bengal, more than Kalighat.
Oh, yeah.
So people they club it in. They go to one, they go to the other.
That's right. I
I
remember
think
going
it's Tara Pita. I don't want to go killing goats.
Oh God.
You see, they do the balidan, they put the goat's head on the metal spike, and it's really tamasik. I mean, I didn't go there, but I've seen. Living in Bengal, everywhere is Kali worship.
Yeah, Mr. Sivarama.
What is bigger than Muslims?
Hare
Killing goats, cows,
Cows.
in Bangladesh. There's no restriction. Actually, in West Bengal, cow killing is allowed also. But at least you don't see it publicly in West Bengal. Hare Krishna.
And then I went to cross the Ganga and went to Kanai.
It's probably still pristine, is it?
Yeah, there's temple presidents there. There's about 6 devotees altogether, and the whole place is complaining. No one wants to come from Mayapur. And yeah, it was very nice. Especially the tree where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wasn't so clear on what happened under the tree. But supposedly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that was the first place where he actually experienced the vision of Radha and Krishna.
Right, yeah.
There, and the government sponsored so many things, the guest house, the temple.
That's the recent guy. It must be, because previously the government the present government, she's doing so much actually. She just made this huge Jagannath temple.
Yeah, Raj just told me about that.
And the Oriya people are really upset.
That we got that temple.
No, well, they're upset because Didi, Mamata Banerjee, she's advertising you don't have to go to Orissa to
Oh.
Jagannath. And many people are going there, and then they're protesting, how can you call it Jagannath Dham, and they want to keep Jagannath as Oriyanath, as Prabhupada said.
That for me was always a very favorite lecture when Prabhupada's giving this talk in Puri, 77. He's giving this talk, inaugurating some book. Prabhupada told him, oh yes, this is
He didn't
inaugurated.
talk about the book.
He says, he says, these are Vaishnavas, they're pure Vaishnavas. He says, you're not allowing them in the temple. This is Vaishnava Aparaj.
No.
And Prabhupada repeats it. It's so bold. He's saying, you're not allowing them in the temple. You're not recognizing these devotees. Yeah, Prabhupada was very, very strong. All right. So, Prabhupada is supposed to inaugurate the book. All right, here's this book. What is it?
He didn't mention it at all. And
It's inaugurated. Prabhupada couldn't care less. But he wouldn't go. He said, you won't let my disciples go, why should I go?
Puri temple is also completely renovated. I think that's by the central government.
It is renovated.
Yeah, Ayodhya, of course, they made a big time. Then Varanasi, they development.
Now we'll see what happens in Mathura.
Let's see.
I'd be interested to see whether they're going to demolish that mosque.
Oh, it's the only way they could do it in Ayodhya was illegally.
Just a free-for-all. Just rouse everybody up. I don't know if you can rouse people as much for Krishna as for Ram.
Well, it's more difficult now. One reason being that they're more prepared now. They know they're more into the Varanasi thing is coming up. Well, that's going on.
But were you at Ayodhya?
I haven't been there for more than 35 years.
Oh,
I
I was never there. But this temple was very impressive. Phenomenal. Huge. We had an interesting experience where we're leaving Jaipur, the flight was from Jaipur to Ayodhya. And
Flight from Jaipur to Ayodhya.
yeah,
Indigo?
no, whatever that was.
SpiceJet? Air India?
Air India or Indigo these days.
Air India.
Was it? Because Indigo connect many
Yeah.
No, it wasn't India.
minor cities.
Air India.
Air India probably under the government,
Air India.
the central
And the
government
flight
probably
cut-
pushed that.
Yes, the flight to Calcutta, we had to go back to Jaipur, and then from there,
So direct flight Jaipur to Ayodhya?
yeah,
I see. Probably, if it's Air India, probably the central government.
yes. And
Asked the Tata to do that.
security was so tight, checked everything, and when we got there, the airplane just taxied to the end of the runway, and sat there. And I said, well, we have a little emergency, and there's a bomb scare. That was when all the bomb scares were going on flights. There was like
There's a rash of bomb
100,
scares.
Yeah, and we were on that. We had to get out, sit out far end of the tarmac. We were sitting in the sun for like 4 hours, and we couldn't do anything. Luggage. Then you had to go claim your luggage, and finally we were able to go. But it was very impressive, that temple that they constructed.
Did they treat you nicely, the people and the security staff?
We
in the
had
temple?
sort of special police guard
That's good.
take us in. We didn't have to stand in a queue and look to the VIP.
Very nice.
They were very nice. Yeah.
Go closer to the deity.
Close to the deity, it is beautiful. Very impressive. Very impressive. Krishna says, Ram is my favorite incarnation.
Which sampradaya is that under? Is that under some committee or what is that?
When Modi went to install the new Sri Vaishnava Tilak, the Tengalai Tilak, I don't know if that means anything.
He probably doesn't know what it is. Who knows? Only Ramanuja Sampradaya people who are into it know what it is. They must have really upset their Varigavais.
Probably.
Must be. But it may have upset the Tengalais also, because why is he wearing teapot? He's not initiated. And he's supposed to wear it initiated. Anyway, it's not under the Shankaracharyas. The message is loud and clear. We are leading, we the Hindutva people are the leaders of Hinduism, not the Shankaracharyas. That's the loud and clear message. As one of the messages comes out of the Ayodhya installation.
It's a good example of what the government could do and should do in renovating and maintaining places like Vrindavan. It's such a bad impression. I went, about 20 years back, I went with my cousin, who I'm now going to visit in Canada, to Vrindavan, and he saw pigs, open sewers, traffic.
And you're going to say this is your main holy place.
Jokingly, he said, if this is the center of your religion, you should change religions.
Okay.
Because that's what kind of impression that people get there. You go to Mecca, it's not like that. Or even Jerusalem.
No pigs for sure.
Mindful. When you're writing Bhakti-Stanta Saraswati Thakur trilogy, what most struck you in terms of his either instructions or conduct or something that you was new to you in terms of
A lot of things were new. What struck me is what I think strikes everyone, even after reading and hearing about him many times. What a lofty personality. He's so high, so beyond this world. I think I mentioned that in the Buddha mission. Maybe you remember that. Did I mention it there that Bhakti-Stanta Saraswati is like, I'm up, come up. And Prabhupada is more like taking your hand and saying, come with me. Prabhupada's approach was different.
He actually used that terminology, come up, Bhakti-Stanta Saraswati.
I believe in one of the...
There's 3 types of gurus.
yeah. I'm just going through the stuff. I just read that yesterday.
So
Again.
Yeah. 2 feet here, eyes there, 1 foot here, 1 foot there, 2 feet there, and reaching down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've still got 2 feet cemented into them. You know.
Unfortunately, my eyes are still looking around here.
To Delaware, everyone you see.
Well, I'm still hoping that my saving grace is how many books did I
I think
distribute?
the same thing.
How many books did I write? How many devotees did I
It's the same thing.
inspire?
I'm completely hopeless, but I try and do something, and I know that probably
Johnny Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada he's not ungrateful. That's all.
Yata Govinda
Dara Vinde
Such a
Vinde.
fantastic verse. Yes. Prabhupada Saraswati, to the degree that your spiritual form is naturally taking shape, to the degree your service to Mahaprabhu. And when you finish, so many of our God brothers, God sisters, then Krishna takes them. Now you go. Some go quickly, Govinda Maharaj, Shivaksha Maharaj. Some, when Prabhupada gave the example of what happens when, it takes a longer time to go. I sometimes think that when devotees really don't apply themselves seriously enough to sadhana, to actually burn up past sinful reactions, that then one way of doing it is that the painful situation of departing from this world slowly. Don't think this won't happen to you. And Prabhupada really is very, very patient, very tolerant.
You're mentioning Gaur Govinda Maharaj. What a way to pass away.
Yeah.
No pain, just ecstasy.
Yes. Excuse me, I have to lay down.
So I can't speak anything.
You have to have extraordinary karma, transcendental karma, for that type of departure.
That type of departure, it's really one in a billion, isn't it? Zillion or whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting there.
And another hope is that the Dhruva Maharaj's mother, that anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about, but we're telling people to chant Hare Krishna, and some of them are coming up so they can carry me back home.
Or Srila Prabhupada, there's so many examples of Sudha Maharaj and Mula Prakriti and others where
What about Balabhadra's wife? Isn't that amazing?
Bhagavad wouldn't write everything down.
Ah,
I told him there were other things that she experienced that he didn't write down. One was that he was talking with her, and he was talking about, isn't it nice to be liberated? And she says, yes, it is. And he says, what are you talking about? And that she at a certain point, he was asking her, all right, so have you got some realization? She says, yeah. He says, what do you do? He says, I visit myself as a little gopi. My service is to help my Yashoda pack Krishna's lunch. And he couldn't put it in the book. Yeah, she was
she was there.
She was really wonderful. She really kept them in check. She was.
Yeah. Unfortunate what
And
happened
he told me
afterwards.
many times. Yeah, she was a very, very nice lady, very Krishna conscious. She just lived off Charnamrita and Tulsi. Tulsi leaves. I don't know about how to kept track of how many Tulsi leaves and Tulsi Majai she consumed. How many tens thousands in that period of time, brain cancer. Yes.
And the wonderful thing is she was an ordinary devotee. No big position, very quiet, just doing a service.
Yeah. didn't even go out on Sankirtan. She was doing accounting, books, and training ladies and so on. But I was, yeah, chant 16 rounds, follow the principles, and just be faithful to
16 plus 4 equals BTG.
And just go back to Godhead many times. So I saw Mahamaya she was there in Chaitanya College with her husband Gyanagambya, and
She was living there for some time?
she's living at Alachua.
And that she was living in Chaitanya College with
Yeah,
Gyanagambya
yeah.
for some time? Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were there. And Prabhupada wrote her this follow what I thought, and you'll guarantee, looking for you guarantee, you guarantee,
It's in the book also, guaranteed for going back to Bhakti.
guarantee. Prabhupada made it so easy, and especially he really emphasized preaching, and you get to understand why, because this, cultivating this sadhana for us was, Mukunda Maharaj immediately wiped out 64 rounds right from the beginning, and he just ended up with 16. That preaching, which really means you're getting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's blessings,
Yeah.
furthering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission,
And you experience that. As I was saying, when was that? Yesterday in the talk? Just seeing Charan and Janardhan Krishna in the Mangalarti, and you could see how they're just experiencing the mercy, because they're going out and distributing books, and it's just obvious that there's a mercy. They're just flowing on them, and they're just experiencing that.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. Everything has its taste. Bhaktivinoda Thakur talks about every type of devotional service has its taste. Daily worship, Sukshil Prabhupada would say everything it's the best service. But on a comparative level, nothing tastes like book distribution and Project Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One day you look around and you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu watching you.
But then again, you were just saying, what was her name? Ratna Ranjani or something?
Ratna Ranjani.
She was doing accounts and
just be an ordinary person.
just showing that it's not limited to book distributors.
Anyone, yeah. And I had, we had examples of even devotees' mothers who weren't even sadhakas, and their son was there at the time of death, and saying, isn't Krishna here? And leaves her body, and Prabhupada said, yes, she went back to Godhead. How fast she went back to Godhead, Prabhupada didn't indicate, so like 1 step, 2 step, but just that, Prabhupada made it look so easy. That's one of the real specialties that distinguished actually Srila Prabhupada from Gaudiya Math. When you talk to Gaudiya Math sannyasis, you really gotta be pure. You really gotta put in energy. They don't, because their degree of preaching is quite limited. Certainly, it's limited to India. Wasn't limited, or they didn't come to the West. But Srila Prabhupada made it sound so easy. My understanding is that Prabhupada really had this contract with Krishna. Because he says that if the acharya makes an arrangement with Krishna, and Krishna will accept that. What's that verse that the demigods in 10th canto say, that the acharya takes the boat
and leaves the boat behind.
Yeah, and in the commentary to that, Srila Prabhupada points out if the acharya makes some, Krishna will accept that arrangement. So just like the
That's 10th canto,
Tenth
chapter
canto.
2.
2, yeah, chapter 2.
You can find
Has he
it.
started off with 64 rounds? So he must have had that as an idea, but then okay, 16 is a minimum. And Bhakti Stanta Saraswati Thakur said, you fallen if you don't chant 64 rounds. Poetry friend says, I don't accept offerings in anybody's homes like chanting 64 rounds in Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Did you find that? Send a reference to me. I'm not sure if I probably included it in the Buddha mission, but if I
Yes, you
did,
did.
I did.
Yeah,
It's
it's such famous verse.
What's the Sanskrit?
Swayam samurtirya
Swayam.
sudushtaram dyuman bhavarnavam bhiman adhabra sauhridaha bhavat padam bro ruha navam atrate nidhaya yata sadanugraho bhavan.
Sadanugraha.
Translation.
O Lord, who resemble the shining sun, you are always ready to fulfill the desire of your devotee, and therefore you are known as a desire tree, Vancha Kalpataru. When acharyas completely take shelter under your lotus feet in order to cross the fierce ocean of nations, they leave behind on earth the method by which they cross. And because you are very merciful to your other devotees, you accept this method to help them.
And then in the third portion, Prabhupada elaborates.
Prabhupada said that this statement reveals how the merciful acharyas and the Supreme Personality of Godhead together help the serious devotee who wants to return home back to Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his teaching Rupa Goswami said, Brahmanda Brahmate Kona Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. One can achieve the seed of Bhakti Lata, devotional service, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. The duty of the Guru is to find the means according to the time, the circumstances, and the candidate by which one can be induced to render devotional service, which Krishna accepts from a candidate and who wants to be successful in going back home, back to Godhead. After wandering throughout the universe, a fortunate person within this material world seeks shelter of such a Guru or Acharya who trains the devotee in the suitable ways to render service according to the circumstances so that the Supreme Personality of Godhead will accept such service. This makes it easier for the candidate to reach the ultimate destination. The Acharya's duty, therefore, is to find the means by which devotees may render service according to references from Shastra. Rupa Goswami, for example, in order to help subsequent devotees, published such devotional literature such as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Thus, it is the duty of the Acharya to publish books that will help future candidates take up the method of service and become eligible to return home back to Godhead by the mercy of the Lord. Now, the Krishna consciousness movement, the same path is being prescribed and followed. Thus, the devotees have been advised to refrain from 4 sinful activities: illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling, and to chant 16 rounds a day. These are bona fide instructions. Because in the Western countries, constant chanting is not possible, one should not artificially imitate Haridas Thakur, but should follow this method. Krishna will accept a devotee who strictly follows the regulative principles and the method prescribed in the various books and literatures published by the authorities. The Acharya gives the suitable method for crossing the ocean of nations by accepting the boat of the Lord's lotus feet. And if this method is strictly followed, the followers will ultimately reach the destination by the grace of the Lord. This is called Acharya Sampradaya. It is therefore said, Sampradaya Vihina Ye Mantras Te Nishphala Mataha. The Acharya Sampradaya is strictly bona fide. Therefore, one must accept the Acharya Sampradaya. Otherwise, one's endeavor will be futile. Sri Narottam Das Thakur therefore sings, Tadera Charana Siri Bhakata Sanivas Janame Hai E Abhilash. One should worship the lotus feet of the Acharya and live within the society of devotees. Thus, one's endeavor to cross over nations will surely be successful.
Yeah.
Makes it simple.
It's also a book, Making Things Simple. That's one of the
Padam Padam Yadi Padam Sham.
One of the
Just
sections in the book.
Krishna makes the whole material like in a calf's footprint. Srila Prabhupada makes the whole science of Bhakti. So very easy for us. And even that's a challenge. But Prabhupada would say, and even that's difficult for you. Put your hands up, Prabhupada in one places. For you just putting your hands up while chanting Hare Krishna is a difficulty. Hare Krishna. Maybe we should go back, or our devotees, they must have resting and...
Oh, they were going to come and do some... Oh, you're going to meet all the devotees? Was that the idea?
Well, they're kind of late. Maharaj is tired. So
Yeah, but I completely forgot about all that.
No, we were having a great time. But do they go on Sankirtan tomorrow?
Much later. So
If you want to meet, you can meet.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah,
It's not
anyway,
interesting.
after class.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sampradaya. Katayantasya manmitya tushyanti charamanticha. Time just flies.
I completely forgot this, but it just we're going to just say a few words and then call it here. Anyway.
Sometimes I mention that when Srila Prabhupada was here, at least that, because I had very limited association with Prabhupada, but where Prabhupada was, you could just sort of feel that he was on the planet. It was Prabhupada's physical presence, his lotus feet, touching the planet. The Krishna sadharma bhagati dharma jnana rabhisava. So when Krishna, Jiva Goswami makes that point that when Krishna's lotus feet no longer touch the world, that's when Kali comes in. So similarly, when Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet touched this planet, you could just feel the spiritual energy. You could feel Srila Prabhupada's presence. And although Prabhupada's always here by his Vani, but still, it makes a difference. Krishna's here by his Vani, but still, Kali came when he left physically. It was a very wonderful experience. And the closest you get to Srila Prabhupada is by doing this, distributing books. Then Prabhupada is there. That's Srila Prabhupada's presence. And so many devotees. We had, Srila Prabhupada would come visit temples and we stayed out on Sankirtan.
Mm-hmm.
And someone in one of the books makes that point, that actually we felt more in Prabhupada's presence out on Sankirtan than in, at the temple where he just came to visit. And even Srila Prabhupada devotees would come back, Srila Prabhupada would look at devotees, get the message like, what are you doing here? Why aren't you out there doing your service? Because that's the only time I had experience was when Prabhupada came to Montreal and he was leaving. And Prabhupada was just sitting there chanting. So I started telling him, the experiences of selling books at the airport, RCMP kept catching us and kicking us out. And then all of a sudden Prabhupada...
Police.
Yes.
Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Oh, I mean, that was, you living here like this, what you did today, that was impossible in the beginning.
I was just telling yesterday how we would just get arrested all the time
Especially in the UK.
in England for chanting, or even we didn't even start chanting.
They saw you.
And Prabhupada said, if it's so difficult, then you should come to India. I just couldn't understand what Prabhupada saying, that, if book distribution is different.
He really wanted you to go because he was looking for
Commonwealth people, yeah. I didn't realize that until years later. But my GBC said, no, it's okay, you don't need to go to. We had so much faith in our authorities that Prabhupada said one thing, and I guess I must have misunderstood what Prabhupada really wanted.
Oh, Krishna.
It was like that when Prabhupada was leaving. Tamal was sending out all these telegrams, everyone should come. I mean, well, the Temperance, no, we should just. But we stayed distributing books. We were no here at that time.
Okay.
O'Hare was like that. It was just as thick, wide as, even not even as wide, from here to there. There was like 6 of us there.
Heck yeah.
Everybody.
Take him down. Knock him cool.
But that was Chicago. It was
Heavy.
at that time, yeah. Sometimes, I've said that. And people, and we always stop people by shaking hands. Hey buddy, where are you coming in from? Pulling out a gun. Says, don't ever do that again.
Someone's pulled a gun on you?
I had twice. People.
They let
I
you
didn't
take guns
even see
in
it.
the
He
airport.
stuck it right in my chest. I just looked down and I saw this again. Chicago was a heavy place.
Yeah, that's in China Carter's book, right? It's just one fight every page.
Yeah.
The Tamal Krishna Maharaj asked him, do you have guns? Because protecting Prabhupada, he said, sure Maharaj, this is Chicago.
Yeah. I went bought a pistol even. We had a shotgun in the temple. I went and got a nice 9mm pistol. I'm a Canadian. I just walk in. I want a gun. What do you want? Let me see your driver's license. Here's my driver's license.
In Canada you could buy
No,
guns.
not Canada.
And you have
In
to sign
Chicago. In Chicago.
all you have to do is show a driving license. He had American driving license.
No, Canadian.
Canadian, that was good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was in Chicago. I was in the temple. I was a president at that.
We have one too, Maharaj. We have one too.
Oh, you have one.
The only one.
Only one. For the neighborhood we have.
Yeah, for the neighborhood we have 6 bullets. You can do that.
I went on the flower run twice in South Chicago. I saw prisoners be shot right on the street. I thought, it was like, oh, this is a movie. This isn't like real. You see, this guy running and someone running after him. They shoot him and the guy falls. Get out of here! Forget the flowers. We're going back.
It goes on, right? Every day there are homicides in that land.
Oh, so many.
So many, yeah.
This country's.
You can hear it from gunshots.
Yeah, you hear it all the time.
Sounds like firecrackers.
Yeah, like
Some of them are firecrackers.
Oh, they are?
I think we just tell each other that.
There's firecrackers and there's gunshots.
Like for no reason.
I mean, in the UK, the police don't have.
No,
India,
Like
lucky.
every-
It's a wild west. Wild west. Wonderful place. And Prabhupada was really indebted to the Americans for helping
Yeah.
him.
Love and mercy.
It's another section.
It's another section.
Mission America.
Mission America.
Yes, sir.
Mission America.
Yes, sir.
And there was Mission India.
That's also a
Prabhupada's
section.
time
of the
was
book.
just all of it. American, Brits. Us. There were no Indian devotees. Few, a handful Indian devotees. Yeah. And to do that, to be pioneer, groundbreaking, that's a real once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Mm. Well, it's there again now, practically.
Yes, Maharaj.
Several Mother Felony said when she was here just now, she said it feels like restarting the movement all over again.
Mm.
She said like that because it's the same mood. And,
Yeah, book distribution wasn't a limited affair to the 70s.
it was the movement practically, yeah.
Mm.
And Prabhupada writes that, all the activities are movement and centered on book distribution.
Yes, sir.
That's
10 to 37. It's about it.
Yeah.
So we'll come tomorrow we'll be here. Not for Sunday morning, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
No, 15 minutes.
Any morning. That
And
time.
then there's no Sunday program, so we'll see about going out.
Yes, Maharaj.
I'll see how my body feels when I get back. I'm just so wired up right now. It's such a great experience.
Yeah, but you may feel it later.
Anandam Budivadaram Purnamrita Shradhanam. This is one real taste that everyone's hankering for.
But you might, you're feeling nectar now, and again I'm reading Sridhar Maharaj and going through the transcripts and they're saying that, well, I hope we're not tiring you too much. No, when you come, I just feel I can go on speaking, but then later, physically it hits.
76, Prabhupada, we came to Toronto, and outside the temple, they decided they were going to take up the sidewalk, so there's a jackhammer going on right outside Prabhupada's window, and Prabhupada's one floor up, but still, and they wouldn't stop. So the Shukama stopped Prabhupada, pursued Prabhupada, I'm sorry that you're being inconvenienced like this. Prabhupada said, everything is an inconvenience for me. Yeah.
Yeah, Hari Shoy said the whole time he was with Prabhupada, there wasn't a time when he wasn't sick. He didn't talk about it. All the time he had something.
Something. Bhakti Thakur, when he needs, when he
It's one sickness
always
after
got
another.
fever. He always has a fever.
Yeah.
If he's praying to Krishna, when he wants to go to Radhakund, please stop the fever.
Yeah, it was like that. I remember being in Bengal in the 1970s and 80s. One fever, and then you get over it, and then just get some strength, but then you get another fever, and it just goes on for so many days. Repeated malaria, I didn't know at the time, it was repeated heat stroke, and who knows what else. So one thing after another.
Use your youth and youthful energy.
Yeah, dance while you can. I often tell them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is dancing. So while you can, dance in kirtan.
So Prahlad Maharaj says, Kom Vedata Charat Pragyata Now is the time. And the best thing to offer youth to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, the opportunity sort of wanes, unfortunately, with age, or at least you have to do different type of seva.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We're going to go back, and we'll be back in the morning, and we'll be here all day, except we just go to the ISKCON temple for the evening program, just to Lady Sarah doesn't feel excluded. And I know him since he was a little kid.
I must have seen him also, but I don't remember. I know some of the other plays, but I don't remember him.
He's Hare Krishna. This is nice. Prabhupada's blue walls. Prabhupada's sort of color, maybe even a little lighter. Prabhupada. Bhavananda with
Oh, I thought he was yellow. Bhavananda made it. Okay.
I said what Prabhupada was his favorite color was blue. So like his LA, Dallas, you know.
And that's probably very good. If I remember next time I haven't seen him for